the Democratic Party is in complete and utter failure. I agree with you. We cannot reform that shit. It can't be done. And even when I talk about like the civil rights movement, they say, well, why did Lyndon B. Johnson sign the civil rights amendments, and why did Congress pass it if all of them were so racist and reform? I'm like, bro, first of all, they fear for their fucking lives because they were on Capitol Hill every damn day. It was hundreds of thousands of people a year in DC ready to pick up and protest. That is why they were forced to do something that they may not have wanted to do at the time. And so I agree that we're kind of like in this post-party era, but I would be remiss if I would say that I don't like the categorization of Tulsi being kind of aligned with Bernie and AOC, right? Because here's my thing, and I want to hear your side of this because you've made some pretty good arguments as well. The thing about Tulsi tried to introduce election fraud legislation. They ignored her. And Bernie did as well, even though he had the money in the team to now, he could have single-handedly conquered election fraud with that much fucking money, this election. Didn't do it. Tulsi tried to introduce UBI before the quarantine even started as a preventative measure because she knew it was coming. AOC and Bernie did not back the legislation. Tulsi introduced the Fairness in Media Act, which good God, we need that more than ever right now. Bernie and Tulsi ignored it. AOC ignored it. At once upon a time, 2014, Tulsi actually tried to decriminalize the police amid the Tamir Rice, go down the list, right? Bernie never introduced anything he didn't introduce the Senate version of it. He completely ignored it. And so we're at this point where even though I disagree with some of the decisions that Tulsi makes, which obviously I'm free to do, there's a difference between you fall short of my expectations at times and you are being deliberately obtuse, self-serving, and just basically fulfilling your own agenda by playing stupid. Does that make sense? So I feel like there's even though Tulsi knows how I feel about this. I just don't believe that the Democratic Party can be reformed, even though she might feel that way. But at the same time, I think there's a difference between, you know what, I'm just not a fan of politicians, and I think Tulsi, AOC, and Bernie are in the same category. So what would you say to that?
Well, I mean, I can appreciate and respect all the points you just made, and they're very valid. For me, first of all, I donated to Tulsi and Bernie's campaign, and they both owe me money. So there's a lot of money to be paid back this election cycle. You goddamn right about that. So when you endorsed Joe Biden, which they both did,
yeah,
I'm just like that. I'm done. And yes, Tulsi was the only one that would really call out the Democratic Party's corruption, but then endorses Joe Biden. So to me, Bernie's campaign and her campaign were my last, this is the last time I'm going to have any remote faith that this party can actually do something. And you just can't reform this party from within. So to me, I hear your distinctions and they're valid and it's something for me to consider, but I'm just like, if you have a D in front of your name, you're eventually going to sell out on some level or another. And my example of that is Kshama Sawant in Seattle. Look what she got done.
That woman is amazing.
The reason she got that done, she's not a goddamn Democrat, and that city council has a bunch of corporate Democrats. Their mayor is a corporate Democrat, but she eventually, the Democratic Party says something. Tulsi got offered something. AOC's been off. They've all been.
No, I could tell you. So I could tell you because because I was her surrogate. She contacted me before she made the announcement to let me know, hey, this is why I'm doing this. And to be honest with you, it wasn't that she got offered something by the Democrats. It was because in conjunction with coronavirus, she didn't feel comfortable taking money from people when she knew she couldn't campaign. And because she knew the coronavirus, she knew what was on the horizon. Sure. We had already, I believe, started the quarantine, or at least some states had, and she knew what was coming next. And then, so the Biden endorsement was basically her fulfilling her contract, because even though some people are like, oh no, she can just toss it out. The DNC is a private corporation. What they signed is in fact a legal binding agreement, unless you want to challenge it with money that she once again does not have. Because they would just continue it and basically make her life a living hell. And on top of that, she knew that they would leverage coronavirus money for her people, like for Hawaii, against her. So whereas she was able to secure money specifically for Hawaii, in some of the shit bills that we saw, they would have kept it out. They would have, and then it would have passed it anyway. And she could have screamed at the top of her lungs. They would have ignored her. And so at a certain point, so for me, personality politics, depending on the pattern of behavior, also includes endorsements, right? Whenever someone, if Tulsi had made a habit of endorsing corporate Democrats or even campaigned for Biden after, or said anything about him at all after, then I probably would be like, no, this is who you are as a politician. But when you endorse somebody that you were contractually obligated to because you ran for president under that party, which once again, the party is clearly the problem, then I feel like saying, well, she's not effective in a vacuum and she's the same in a vacuum is not fair, because, well, what are we going to talk about when we talk about all these policies she tried to get passed, specifically so we didn't end up in this situation, about the fact that she's quitting Congress. And obviously what that means is she's removing herself from the establishment, from the pull that comes with the establishment, and pursuing a different avenue to try to make the change she seeks, because she sees what's going on Capitol Hill and it's not working. She's making all these decisions that clearly, yeah, the endorsement of Biden conflicts with, but when we look at the actual pattern of behavior along with the policies and the fact that the Biden endorsement was just that, a one-time endorsement of the Democratic nominee that she was contractually obligated to make, then it's not really like, it's, once again, I just feel like it's, I don't want to say disingenuous, but I feel like the logical chain doesn't follow to say, well, all these other people showed us pattern after pattern after pattern after not doing shit after then screwing us over actively, right? And then they're shoving our face in shit and telling us it's roses. That's what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. But then you have somebody who's tried to make sure we avoid all these circumstances, and she just got silenced and ignored. So I feel like that is more so the Biden endorsement for me was disappointment. Yeah, a little bit because it's Tulsi, but two, we should have never got to this point because she was the best candidate. And anybody who says that they cared about policy more than anything else, you can't convince yourself that there's a better candidate if you know the policies. So what would you say to that?
Well, I would say that might just be a place where you and I just flat out disagree.
That's fine. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
I hear a lot of that, but signing that contract, then don't sign that contract. You know, then again, you're deluding yourself more than anybody else, and your followers and constituency if you think that you can. I'm going to sign this contract saying I'm going to abandon my beliefs. But I have this other track record to show that I'm fighting for the right things. That to me is just like, we are in the most chaotic time. Like America's, this isn't a tipping point. This is the tipping point. Yeah. And to me, it takes bold leadership and making a decision and choice that is not easy, rather than, well, I'm still going to play the, I need this, and all right, I'll endorse that, and I sign this contract. For me, I'm just like, this is why all of those decisions that, I mean, you've had, I don't know her, I've never met her personally, I'm not one of her surrogates, and I don't want to be friends with any politician, quite honestly, because they've used. I mean,
that's a fair point. That's definitely a fair point.
You know, they use indie media, and I don't like seeing friends of mine get used.
Well, shit, I wish that politicians would use indie media more. I feel like they don't use them anywhere near to the degree. I feel like Bernie actually used indie media this go around, right? Because clearly, the questions with Joe Rogan, for example, were tailored.
Yes, they're still politicians. I mean, AOC, she's going to go on Sam Cedar, but she won't go on Jimmy. She won't go on Jimmy. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no way.
Not anymore anyway, right?
not now. And so to me, it's just like any of this trying to reform from within. The joke I always make, it's like me joining a drug cartel and get them to stop selling drugs, and maybe they'll start selling vegan smoothies.
Well, in California, it might be a good transition. I don't know, or do both in California. Shit.
They'll have cocaine inside the vegan smoothies, and that'll be the concession I'll make. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, they're going to not sell it 200 yards from schools rather than right at schools. Yay, victory. No, it's all awful. And it goes to the whole thing to why I think this is all connected. Like the conversations we're now having about defunding the police. We've like Seattle, they tried all the reforms. They've tried all that reform, de-escalation tactics and meow, 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 boo. They're like, it's over. Los Angeles, 54% of the city of Los Angeles's operating budget is LAPD. So I don't want to hear.
What?
Yes.
Holy, that is obscene.
Obscene.
How many homeless people do y'all
have? Los Angeles is like 3 or 4 million people or something like that. LA County's probably closer to 8. You know?
Hey, I know I said before that like I'm not comfortable with the looting. Fuck all that, man. Y'all need to break in wherever the hell y'all got to, man. I got 3 million homeless people, but 54% of budget goes to LAP. That is obscene, bruh.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I misunderstood you. Total population about 3 million. The homeless population is probably in the neighborhood of, well, it was 36,000 people before the pandemic. It's probably in the neighborhood of 40 to 50,000 homeless people. There's tent cities.
That's still too many.
Niko, there are blocks from where I'm standing right now. There are tent cities, and next to it is one of those storage places. So literally people's extra bullshit gets housing before human beings do. I mean, you go to downtown Los Angeles and it is high rise, it's the Staples Center, it's the Nokia Center, it's luxury apartment buildings, most of whom have like 20 to 30% occupancy at best, and people living in tents. And
right beside it, yep.
Beside it. And so our cops get,
and so that's what's so frustrating, man, that this fake anger about the looting. Oh man, just those small businesses, man. All of a sudden they care. It's crazy because now all of a sudden they care about small businesses now. Y'all know how much politicians have been robbing small businesses for decades. This isn't new. And the Republicans, they'll pretend, we'll cut taxes, we'll load it. Not for small businesses, bro. Nah, they treat small businesses just like they do the middle class. They're draining them slowly every single day in favor of corporations. And all this fake outrage about the looting of small businesses are being looted every day by our politicians, first of all. Second of all, if y'all had that same goddamn energy about the homeless population, I mean, in California, by the way, if y'all didn't know, they have the highest population of homeless people who are simultaneously gainfully employed. Get up and go to work every damn day.
I've interviewed 2 of them. I interviewed on my show last year. I interviewed a guy, full-time job, living in his car. And then Saturday, I was at a Black Lives Matter protest that was put on by BLM-LA and the DSA in Echo Park. And one of the speakers who I interviewed, it's on my YouTube channel, was a teacher. College degree, might even have a master's degree.
That's disgusting. Teachers should be probably the 3rd or 4th most profitable job occupancy in this country, in my opinion.
LAPD cops get $100,000 a year.
Excuse me?
Yeah. The opening salary is like 50, 60 grand a year. But
opening salary?
Yes, dude. Yes. And
oh man, there needs to be a documentary just on that.
Yeah.
There really does, because that is unconscionable. That's infuriating. If you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockfin Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember,
find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.
peace.